Huh, man, if this keeps up, I'm gonna have to at least do one review video in every room of my house. So this episode wasn't that bad. We got to see the love triangle. I would say it's more of a step one, and also it's your cliche love triangle, but they do add friendship to it, bromance. So I guess in their way, they're not trying to make it boring. And also, for every episode so far, I'm getting more and more curious about DuSik. We know about his nightmare, we know about the bloody hand in his nightmare, and now with the last scene in this episode, just seeing him drunk and telling HyeJin to don't go, don't leave me behind. Um, I don't think he was referring to HyeJin. I think it was someone else. Maybe his grandpa or maybe his mom that we don't know about. So first, at the beginning of the episode, we see SeongHyeon in Gongjin. He's there to film his variety show called The Seashore Grasshopper. And then we see the girl with the glasses. She was the girl that DuSik was with, that HyeJin found out, and she got angry. She was actually SeongHyeon's writer. And then later on, everyone is gathered together to go eat. And Namsuk, she's there to stir the pot like she always does because she saw how close HyeJin and SeongHyeon were when they were eating. And she went there, well, she sat next to them and asked them, how come you guys are close? They're college friends. And things got a little awkward. And HyeJin left because she has work in the morning. DuSik and SeongHyeon offered to walk her home. And then, well, first, in my mind, when I saw those two walking her home, I thought we were going to get that whole cliche love triangle situation. But it turned into the boys wanting to drink without HyeJin and HyeJin feeling left out. So she joined them voluntarily. Now all three of them are in DuSik's house. Before they drank, though, I love that in that one scene, one person felt left out of the group. So the first one was when SeongHyeon went to the bathroom and we saw HyeJin and DuSik do a little flirtiness. Then the second one was SeongHyeon and DuSik were talking about the order of alcohol you should drink while eating to appreciate the alcohol. HyeJin felt left out. And then HyeJin and SeongHyeon were talking about the past, which made DuSik felt left out. And then while they were drinking, man, they were drunk. They were playing games like which one are you going to drink, the coffee or the Sandlance sauce? Saying a phrase without stuttering. And then it ended it off with, how did SeongHyeon got clothespins on his face? And then the next morning, we see HyeJin waking up between SeongHyeon and DuSik. I'm pretty sure a lot of girls would wish to be in her position. So she wakes up, she leaves the house. Before she left though, SeongHyeon woke up, talked to her, exchanged numbers. And of course, we see Namsuk on the other side of the wall, listening to their conversation, and we know that she's going to gossip later on. Then, after HyeJin left, DuSik woke up and asked SeongHyeon, hey, you want some ramen? Which made Namsuk create this different type of scenario of a boy and boy romance, which I thought was pretty hilarious. And then later on, we see DuSik guiding SeongHyeon and his crew around Gongjin, basically to help him find locations to film. SeongHyeon, he wanted his main location to be Gamli's house. He asked her once, but she refused. He bought her gifts, and she continues to refuse because she may be old, but she's not dumb. You know, she knows a bribe when she sees it. But SeongHyeon insisted that it wasn't a bribe. It was more of a thank you for having a meal with them. And then later we see SeongHyeon doing small chores for Gamli, I guess to get her on her good side, you know, just doing small chores like washing something or replacing a light bulb. And then after that, Gamli hasn't seen SeongHyeon in like a few days. During that time, we see DuSik and HyeJin helping Gamli. The first thing that they did was wash her blankets, you know, just put it in a big giant bowl, put soap and water, and they're going to stomp on it. While they were stomping, we see some flirtiness happens, and then we see HyeJin remembering a night when they were drunk, and we see DuSik sleeping on her shoulders. We don't know the full story yet, not until towards the end of the episode, but we know that there was a romantic scene going on between these two. And then out of nowhere, SeongHyeon returns after a few days. We still don't know where exactly he went, but we do know that he went to go get a cake for Gamli, and he brought June June is from the band that Judy is a fan of. And of course, HyeJin, she's surprised to see him, and she texts Judy, and Judy comes to Gamli's house to see June. And then after that, we get a one-on-one between DuSik and SeongHyeon. SeongHyeon asks DuSik, is HyeJin seeing anybody? And DuSik, he has that look on his face. He was more concerned. I was like, what do I say? But he ended up saying, oh, I don't think she's seeing anyone. And SeongHyeon was like, oh, that's good. And of course, that look that DuSik gave, you know he really likes HyeJin. And then the very last scene, it's the scene that we saw HyeJin remembers, and it was the night that they got drunk. And we see DuSik sleeping outside while he's sitting, and HyeJin, she's drunk, she's just talking and whatnot, and she tries to carry DuSik inside the house, but he's too heavy. And then we see DuSik saying, don't go, don't leave me behind, puts his head on her shoulders and cries. And that was the end of the episode. So my impression on this episode, this was good. You know, we got to see step one of the love triangle, even though I wouldn't say it was a full-fledged love triangle. You know, after watching so many romance dramas, we know what a love triangle is, and we know the scenes that can happen when a love triangle happens. But for this one, it was there, but it wasn't a full-fledged yet. You know what I mean? Because they were throwing love triangles, but then they added friends, and then they added bromance into it. So it's there, but it's not quite there yet. But we know what's happening. For DuSik, yeah, again, I'm getting more curious because now him saying, don't go, don't leave me, he's crying. Well, first off, when you're drunk, the truth comes out. But also, when you're drunk, you're not really seeing what you're looking at. So I don't think he was referring to HyeJin, don't go, don't leave me, right? I mean, first off, HyeJin is not going anywhere. Well, realistically, she's not going anywhere. But I think he's referring to someone else that he knew and loved that left him. Maybe his grandpa, maybe his mom. Wait, everyone told me, well, hold up, there were a few comments in my last review that I said during the nightmare, it may be his grandpa who had the bloody hand. But in the comments, they said it was a woman. It was a woman's hand. I went back and yeah, it was a woman's hand. So maybe it was his mom. For Hwajong's love triangle thing, well, I wouldn't want to call it a love triangle at this point. Yeah, I still don't know where exactly they're taking it. I can see now. I remember in episode 2, remember how there were different people regretting some stuff, and Hwajong had a divorce paper, so it makes sense that her and her ex-husband got a divorce, and she's regretting, was that a good decision? And just seeing her in this situation now that another woman has come into the scene, so I think it's more of closure. Well, I said it was more of closure, but now at this point, I really don't know. But if you guys know, leave it in the comments below. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of my review and the episode. If there's anything I might have missed, please leave it in the comments below. Other than that, if you like this video, leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe. See ya.